Hi everyone, Jeff here with you. This is a GMTE podcast YouTube exclusive. Going to review my visit to the WWE Road to WrestleMania SuperShow that took place at the Giant Center in Hershey, Pennsylvania on Sunday. Been my first WWE event in quite a while. It was actually a pretty good experience as far as being there. Let me just go over real quickly what happened on the show, and then I'll give you some thoughts about it here as we go along. They kicked it off by having Elias come out to do his concert. You know, he did his usual bit by trashing the town, got the fans to boo him. You know, he did his job here. And then that brought out the New Day. They came out, the big reaction here, especially for Kofi. The fans were really chanting his name. Elias and the New Day go back and forth, and then eventually that leads to Kofi challenging Elias to a match which would be in the main event spot on this show. So they agree, and that is announced for the end of the show. The first match on the actual card, I guess what you would call the curtain jerker match, was for the SmackDown Tag Team titles. Jimmy and Jay of the Usos defending the titles against Shinsuke Nakamura and Rusev. Of course, Lana was there with them as well. Just a quick note on Lana. I was there. I saw it. I could tell her body language, though she was trying to hide it. You could tell something was bothering her. It's just my observation. I mean, she really tried to play up the usual heel nonsense here, but you could tell she was kind of out of it here a little bit. As far as the match goes, this is a typical tag team match where the heels dominated for most of the match until the baby faces, that being the Usos, made the big comeback in the end. The Usos go on to win the match after hitting a stereo super kick on Rusev for the win. This match went 12 minutes and 42 seconds, and yes, I did time the matches here. So they hit the stereo super kick on Rusev for the cover and get the win and retain in 12:42. So that's what we had to start it off. Next match was a 205 live match. It featured Buddy Murphy putting his cruiserweight title on the line against Tony Nese. I have to admit, I don't watch a whole lot of 205 live, and that was obvious with the crowd is here as well. This match by far got the least reaction of anything they showed here the entire night. These two did put on a great match. I guess Buddy Murphy's a heel now. I didn't even realize he had turned heel. But yeah, they worked a great match. Hit a lot of good high spots. But in the end, Buddy Murphy, to no surprise, did retain his cruiserweight title. He hit Murphy's Law for the win at 12 minutes and 24 seconds to retain. And we had that. Overall, it was a pretty good match, but again, this was by far the least responsive that the crowd was for anything on the show. Next up was the Intercontinental title match, having Bobby Lashley put his Intercontinental title on the line against Finn Balor. No sign of the Demon here for Finn Balor, and there was no Lio Rush to be found anywhere here as well. Again, this did not go very long. It only went 4 minutes and 58 seconds, according to my watch. The match ended in a double countout, so neither guy looks weak here. Both guys look strong. So Lashley retains via double countout, and after the match, Lashley did lay out Finn Balor with an excellent-looking spear. And I will say one thing about the house shows here. These wrestlers do interact with the fans more at the house shows. They tend to get away with a little bit more at the house shows compared to television. And I will say that the wrestlers, especially pretty much this whole night, were interacting with the fans, because I was sitting right near ringside, pretty much in the second row, so I saw it. So that was one of the positives. But yeah, Lashley retained via double count out, and then he laid out Finn, like I said, with the spear. Elias comes back out for the second time. He tries to do his concert. His stool had been taken away by the New Day earlier, so he didn't have his stool, so he tries to start again. Then Becky Lynch comes out. She gets a huge pop here, a big reaction, probably one of the top reactions the entire night between her and Seth Rollins probably, and maybe Finn Balor, but definitely Becky getting one of the top reactions this entire night. She was over like gangbusters here. She goes back and forth with Elias. She actually sings a song, and actually sings it pretty well. And she did manage to slip in a little bit of a pun. For those of you who know Becky Lynch, she's big into puns, so she did slip one in, so she still has the capability of doing it, and I was very glad to see that from her. So, So Elias leaves again, and then this leads to the SmackDown Women's title match between Becky Lynch and Charlotte Flair. This was by far, I thought, the best match of the entire show. These two have great chemistry, though I don't like them competing against each other. For those of you who listen to my podcast, you know that for a fact. But they told a great story here. Went back and forth. I mean, obviously, the outcome was never in doubt. Charlotte was going to retain, and she did. The match went 13 minutes and 45 seconds, and it came to the end when Charlotte was able to pin Becky Lynch by putting her feet on the ropes with the referee turning the blind eye to it and getting the 3 counts. So you keep Becky looking strong by not having her be submitted here, and then Becky did have put the arm her version of the armbar on Charlotte, but she was able to counter out of it. Charlotte, I don't believe, was ever able to get the figure 8 leg lock in. So after the match, Charlotte goes to leave, and then Asuka came out and chased Charlotte back to the ring, and that eventually led to Charlotte taking a Stone Cold Stunner from Becky Lynch. So Stone Cold Becky Lynch was in full force here. So you have that. I mean, say what you will with that. So that was pretty good. The crowd really popped big for that. And then Becky, as she was leaving, and Charlotte did it as well. She did interact with the fans, and both of them did here. So you tell me Charlotte's not a heel. Charlotte is a babyface, and she was getting quite a bit of positive reaction, even though she was booed as well. So believe me, they're going to turn Charlotte babyface, and they're going to team her back up with Becky. It's going to happen at some point. I think it's going to happen soon. They just got to get through this program first. So then we had a 15-minute intermission break. Then we get on to the next match. It was a triple threat match for the U.S. titles. Samoa Joe put his title on the line against Cesaro and AJ Styles. Great match. It had Samoa Joe and Cesaro working together for a while on AJ, and then eventually Samoa turned on Cesaro. They told a great story. Again, the outcome never in doubt. Samoa Joe did retain the title. He did it after AJ had hit, I believe, what would have been the finisher on Cesaro, but Samoa Joe was able to get rid of AJ Styles and then get the cover and get the win in 9 minutes and 12 seconds to retain the U.S. title. So Samoa Joe looks strong here as well going forward. And then next up was, we had a tag team match. You had Naomi and Asuka. So Asuka did come out for a tag match with Naomi. They took on Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville. A good basic match. Nothing really special here. Asuka looks strong. Naomi looks strong. Mandy and Sonya did get some offense in, but in the end, at 7 minutes and 2 seconds, Asuka was able to win by submission over Sonya Deville. She tapped her out to the Asuka lock. And Naomi and Asuka wound up looking strong here and winning this match. So really no big surprise. Elias comes out again for the third time. He didn't stay very long. He tried to do his song, then he just left. And then this led to the co-main event here with Baron Corbin and Drew McIntyre taking on Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins. Dean and Seth got huge reactions here. More so Seth, but Dean got a big response as well. Again, typical tag team where the heels dominated. The babyfaces didn't make the comeback, but in the end, Baron Corbin and Drew McIntyre did win after McIntyre won by hitting the Claymore on Dean Ambrose for the win at 10 minutes and 25 seconds. So Dean continues to lose going out, and they kept Seth looking strong because after the match, Seth Rollins was able to get the curb stomp in on Baron Corbin. So Drew McIntyre and Seth look strong here, and they just continue to beat Dean and Baron Corbin. That just tells you what's going to happen with him, probably with Kurt Angle. And then in the main event, we had Elias taking on Kofi. Elias did come out to try to do a song again, and the New Day came out with Kofi. They did the pancakes and all that. They had a great match. Kofi wound up winning in about 15 minutes. He hit, I believe, was the Thunder in Paradise, or Trouble. No, it was Trouble in Paradise. He hit Trouble in Paradise for the win. So Kofi gets the win and keeps looking strong. So that's basically what we had on the card. Overall, the experience of going to the event was fine. I didn't have an issue with it. Is it the strongest card I've ever been to? No, it's not. This was a good show, not a great show. There were a few botches throughout the night. They were pretty noticeable. You could see them. But overall, I thought the talent did pretty good here for the most part. It looked like they were engaged and had a good time being in Hershey. Now I got to give you my official report card grade for the events. I have to subtract a little bit because we did not get Sasha and Bailey, which was a little bit of a disappointment. They were originally scheduled, but then pulled late. Um, Obviously, no Roman Reigns, no Brock Lesnar, no Ronda Rousey, no Paul Heyman. Um, so you have to lower the grade a little bit, even though I knew they weren't going to be there. Sasha and Bailey not being there was kind of a disappointment because I was actually looking forward to seeing them. But overall, my expectations were not very high for the show. I knew we weren't getting any title changes. The matches overall, for the most part, I thought were decent, and so my official report card grade for the WWE Road to WrestleMania Super Show in Hershey is a C+. I thought about maybe giving it a B minus, a C plus, slightly above average for a house show. But that was pretty much it. I would recommend people going to the house shows. You get more interaction than you see on television. But yeah, this was about as basic of a house show as you get. Maybe slightly above, but that's about it. So that's my official report card grade, and I thought clearly Becky and Charlotte had the best match on the card. It was close between that and Seth Dean, Drew, and Baron Corbin. So that's my official review of WWE's Road to WrestleMania Super Show in Hershey. Hopefully you enjoyed the review. If you went to it, let me know what you think about it in the comments section down below. Thanks for checking out this exclusive GMTE podcast YouTube exclusive. We'll catch you in the near future with another YouTube exclusive. Bye for now, everyone, and as always, drink some water, and always and forever, folks, keep it in full drive.
For the JBSN Media Network, this is Jenna Green speaking.